Hello, I'm Enche Tjin, and in this video, I'd like to explore about new Fujifilm X-T50. I'm lucky enough that Fujifilm loaned me this camera for a few days before global launching. When you watch this video, X-T50 should have launched in X Summit Sydney. In this video, we'll have a closer look on it, and I'll tell you my first impression handling this camera. This unit I received is Calcor Anthracite Silver version. The colors looks unique to me, darker than usual silver and a bit shiny when the lights hit in. Of course, it also has a black version. Basically, the Fujifilm X-T50 has the same processor and image sensor as other high-end Fujifilm cameras, the X-T5 and X-H2, but it is cheaper and more compact. So what else is different? We'll explore this camera together. At the first glance, the body design is different from Fujifilm X-T10 to X-T30 design, which tend to be more angular or square. And the X-T50 has a more rounded shape. The edge of the camera is curvy and the viewfinder remains angular, the same like previous series. The top left of the camera has film simulation dial. We can immediately select the film simulation here. There are standard, Velvia, Astia, Classic Chrome, Reala Ace, and so on. Of course, this dial cannot fit all 20 film simulation. So if your favorite isn't available, you can always register it on FS1 to FS3. If you want to set it on the menu as usual, you can park at C. The dial for this film simulation is a new design. Previously on the X-T30, this dial is a drive mode dial, which has now moved to a button on the back of the camera, which is shared with the delete button. Meanwhile, the X-T5 is usually aimed more at professionals or advanced amateurs. Under the film simulation dial, there is a lever to turn on the flash. In the middle, as usual, there is a hot shoe for attaching flash or other accessories, and then there is a shutter dial. We can choose up to 4,000 seconds, and if you want it to be faster, you have to set it on electronic shutter, and now it can set up to 180,000. It is incredibly fast and suitable for shooting in the bright sun with big aperture lenses such as 50mm f1. Below there is a lever for full auto mode. Then there is an exposure composition dial, shutter button, and function button. The shutter button is old school film camera shutter button, so you can install a soft release button or remote cable. On the back, there are drive mode, playback button, a viewfinder, function button, autofocus on button, a back dial, and a quick menu button. Underneath, there is a screen that can be tilted up and down, but not sideways. This screen is the same as X-T30. Beside it, we have an autofocus lock button, multi-way controller or joystick, menu display, and back button. At the bottom, there's a thread for tripod and a battery and memory card compartment. The battery is the same as battery in most Fujifilm cameras, including the X-T30, X100, etc. The battery is smaller than X-T4, X-T5, and X-H, and the memory card have only one SD card slot. But now it supports USS 2 card. On the front of the camera, we have another dial, and the function of the front and back dial is to change exposure setting, such as a shutter, ISO, or aperture value. These dials are very helpful when you use lens without aperture ring, or if you want a finer control. Then on the left, we have several ports. A 3.5mm mic jack, which is very good, so we don't have to use adapter anymore, like the previous X-T30, which has 2.5mm jack. Then there is a USB-C and HDMI micro port. At the bottom left of the front of the camera, we have a lever for autofocus and manual focus. S is for still, C for continuous, and M for manual focus, of course. Apart of having a unique film simulation dial, the X-T50 has a built-in stabilizer in body just like X-T5 and X106, which is rated at 7 stops for pitch and yaw movement. There is a Preot feature too, which is useful for capturing very fast moments, but there is a limitation. you have to use an electronic shutter and the image will be subject to 1.29 times crop. But this function can be very useful for capturing moments when subjects move very quickly and unexpectedly, such as birds when taking off. The way it works is that when we activate it, the camera will continue to capture photos in bursts, and then when we press the shutter button, the camera will stop, and then we can check the photos that camera captured previously. As the successor to X-T30, of course the X-T50 has many improvements, which is not surprising to me because Fujifilm has 5 years to develop this new technology for X-T50. In terms of hardware, we get a new processor, 40 megapixel image sensor, image stabilizer on body, and 20 film simulation including the latest Real Ace. In terms of design, X-T50 is slightly bigger and rounder. I think it is good because the camera now is easier to hold. To differentiate it from the X-T5, the X-T50 have a smaller battery and only one card slot, but X-T50 is cheaper and lighter. When I make this video, I don't have the price information yet, but according to rumor, it may be around $1,300 US. My general impression is that X-T50 is pleasant to hold. It's not heavy, but it's not too light either. It's suitable for everyday street photography or travel photography, and I think Fujifilm X-T50 is a photo-centric camera, but you can always use it for videos if you like. For those who wonder why this video doesn't contain any sample photos of demonstration, don't worry, stay tuned for the full video reviews for X-T50 in this channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos in the future. Bye bye!